Welcome student. Today we start the next article from the topic electromagnetic induction, that is the induced EMF in a stationary coil in a changing magnetic field. The article 12.6 induced EMF in stationary coil in a changing magnetic field. So let us consider a one semicircle aluminium frame of a radius 50 centimeter as shown in this figure. This frame is pivoted at this point and the magnet is mounted or fixed on this frame. And suppose the coil is here. Suppose theta is the angle between position of magnet and position of the coil. So there are two slotted weights. They are sliding so that the oscillation of this semicircle frame will be continued. So this radius 50 centimeter. So these two ends of that coil, suppose that two ends are A and B. This coil is shown here. The end A is here, end B is here. Then resistance, diode, plug key, capacitor, voltmeter and millimeter are connected to this coil. So these are 2 points. Suppose this point is A, this point is B, and this is the diode. So this is connected in this circuit, that is resistance, diode, capacitor, millimeter and voltmeter. So let us do an experiment. Suppose if we oscillate this aluminium frame, then this magnet moves towards that coil. It passes through that coil and again move away from that coil. When it reaches to extreme position, then again it return backs and again enter in this coil. So magnet oscillates and pass through that coil, but coil is stationary, but magnet oscillate. Therefore magnetic flux associated with that coil goes on changing. So as the magnet approaches towards the coil, magnetic flux goes on increasing. When this magnet is within the coil, magnetic flux remains stationary, and again when this magnet moves outward from that coil, then again magnetic flux decreases. So when magnet enters or leaves from that coil, the magnetic flux rapidly goes on changing, and according to Faraday's law or principle of electromagnetic induction, the EMF induced in that coil. So this EMF is passed through that diode, and then we get a certain reading in this millimeter, or it shows some oscillations in the millimeter. But in one oscillation, this capacitor cannot be fully charged. It charges partially, and during every oscillation this charging goes on increasing, and when it fully recharges, then there will be no jerk shown in the millimeter. In this way the capacitor goes on charging during the every oscillation, as like when we fill air in a tube or hollow ball, at every pump we get some pressure, and in this way the air goes on increasing. In this way during every oscillation the charge goes on increasing, and at finally when it reaches to maximum value, the millimeter shows no any jerk. In this way, we measure the charge or current flowing through that circuit. But it is found that when the magnet approaches towards the coil, magnetic flux goes on increasing. As the magnetic flux goes on increasing, according to Lenz's law, the induced EMF is opposite to that. So we get the negative jerk. So see that next figure. Suppose this is the figure. So we see that when a magnet enter inside the coil, then the magnetic flux goes on increasing. So we see here the change in the magnetic flux, that is A, B, C, D, E, F. AB when the magnet is outside the coil, CD when magnet is inside the coil, and EF when magnet leaves the coil. So we get the hub at a CD when the magnet is inside the coil. So here from B to C there is a large increase or sudden increase in magnetic flux. So according to Lenz's law, this flux is shown by this negative spike, that is a minus E0 when the magnetic flux goes on increasing. When magnet is inside the coil, then magnetic flux remains same, so there will be no any induced EMF. But when magnet leaves the coil, then again it decreases. As magnetic flux decreases, according to Lenz's law, this will be positive spikes. So in this way we get a negative and positive spike, and this process goes on repeating, and we get a induced EMF in that circuit. But it is found that the during the negative cycle, the diode get reverse bias. The diode get reverse bias and no current flows through that circuit. But during the next spike, where that is at the positive half cycle, it get a forward bias, and we see the current only at the positive half cycles, and at every positive half cycles current goes on increasing, and it reaches to maximum value when the capacitor is fully charged. In this way we get the induced EMF and the large or peak value of the EMF in the circuit. So let us derive the some relation or theory to this EMF. So induced EMF, according to Faraday's law, it is a d phi by dt. But here we get the angular displacement of the magnet. So we have the magnitude of induced EMF is given by equation d phi by d theta into d theta by dt. D phi is the angular displacement, and it changes with again time. So modulus of E, that is equal to d phi upon d theta into d theta upon dt. But theta is an angular displacement. It initially increases, reaches to maximum value, and again decreases. That is, it varies with a sine function. So if the maximum value or peak value of the theta is a theta naught, then it is given by sine function, that is theta is equal to theta naught sine omega t. So where omega is the angular frequency. If the nu is the frequency of oscillation, then omega, that is equal to 2 pi nu. Then we have phi theta naught, theta is equal to theta naught sine 2 pi nu into t. So where nu is the frequency of oscillation, and we know that the nu is equal to 1 upon time period t. Now in terms of time period, we have theta, that is equal to theta naught sine 2 pi instead of nu upon t into t. Now d theta by dt, now derive this expression. So take the derivative of this theta naught, the derivative of sine theta, that is cos theta, that is cos 2 pi t into t, and this is the constant, so multiplied by 2 by t. So d theta by dt is equal to theta naught cos 2 pi upon a capital T, where capital T is a time period, into t, where t is the instantaneous time, into 2 pi upon t. Now rearranging the term, we have d theta by dt is equal to 2 pi upon t. This is a constant. Take towards the left side. Theta naught cos 2 pi t upon t. So we have d theta by dt is equal to 2 pi upon t theta naught cos 2 pi t into t. Now the peak value is a maximum when the d theta by dt, d phi by dt is a maximum. So we have the magnitude of E naught or E0 is equal to d phi by dt into max is equal to d phi by d theta maximum into d theta by dt maximum. Now E0 is equal to d phi by d theta maximum, and the value of d phi by dt is a maximum, and which is equal to 2 pi theta naught into t, because the maximum value of cos 2 pi upon t into t is a plus 1. Now substitute here a plus 1, then we get a d theta by dt maximum, that is equal to 2 pi t upon t into theta naught. So from this expression, we have E naught is directly proportional to theta naught, that is the maximum angular displacement. So, and from this expression we have E naught is directly proportional to theta naught, and it is inversely proportional to t. So from this we have E naught is directly proportional to theta naught, and it is inversely proportional to time period t. Thus, the induced EMF in a stationary coil in a changing magnetic field, it is found that the peak value or maximum value of EMF is directly proportional to theta naught, that is the maximum angular displacement of the magnet, and the t, that is the inversely proportional to t, that is time period, are directly proportional to frequency of oscillation. So this is about the induced EMF in a stationary coil in a changing magnetic field. So we have the two relation, that is E naught is directly proportional to theta naught, and E naught is inversely proportional to 1 upon t, or E naught is directly proportional to nu, that is the frequency of oscillation of the coil. So we stop here.